yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this mesh sock bag. Now I created this little design because in all of my traveling, I always end up coming back missing a sock or two. And so it's kind of nice to be able to throw this into your luggage or your overnight bag and put your socks in here, as well as some of your other things that you want to keep from getting in your other clothes. And then you can just toss this right in the wash and wash it, and you won't lose any of your socks. Now it can also be used for lots of other things. It measures about 10 inches tall and it's about 12 inches around. So you could put lots of other things in it. Dog toys, bath toys, going to the beach toys, or just a small bag to take to the beach or when you travel. It's a great little bag. You can see it's made in a mesh fashion, starting with the circle on the bottom. So if you want the written pattern with pictures, you can find that link down in the notes underneath this video. To make your mesh bag, you're going to need approximately 2 ounces of a cotton yarn. Now, if you don't have a cotton yarn, you can make this out of acrylic, but I really prefer it made out of cotton myself. But any medium weight number 4 yarn will work just fine. Now, because this is a variegated, and sometimes that's difficult to see on camera, I'm going to use this yellow, and both of these are sugar and cream cotton, 100% cotton yarns. All right, so 2 ounces of a cotton yarn that's a medium weight, number 4, or any yarn that you have on hand that's a number 4 that you want to make this out of. I like it with cotton because then I can toss it right in with my laundry. But of course, it has lots of other uses, so other yarns can be used. We're going to stitch today with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll just need a needle for weaving in ends, and then of course, your scissors. So we're going to begin with our chain 5. We're going to take the tail of our yarn, place it on our hook, and pull it through. We'll snug that down so that we have a chain 5 loop. Now, if you would prefer to start with the magic circle or another method, that's totally fine. We're going to put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. Now we're going to stitch 11 double crochets. We'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. So now we need 10 more double crochets stitched in this chain 5 loop. And you'll notice that I am stitching over my tail of yarn, and that's so that I can close up that hole. Don't worry, I'll show you how to do that. All right, let's see how many I've stitched. So our chain 3 counts as 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 double crochets stitched in our chain 5 loop. Now we're going to join to that first chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now we'll turn this over. There we go. We'll pull on that string, close up that hole, then we'll take our needle, we'll thread that on, and then we can go ahead and weave this in. Now you're going to have to weave it in anyway, so we might as well just go ahead and weave that in. There we go. Make sure it's nice and secure. And then we'll just clip that string. All right. So for row 1, we have 12 double crochets, joined to our chain 3, and chained 3. All right, let's do row 2. Our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. We're going to double crochet in that same stitch as our chain 3, and then chain 1. Then we'll go to our next double crochet and stitch 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and chain 1. And so our repeat around for row 2 is 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets, chain 1. 2 double crochets in the next double crochet, and chain 1. And we'll repeat this all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I repeated that around, 2 double crochets, chain 1 in each of those 12. So we have 24 double crochets with our chain 1s in between. Here's my last 2 double crochets, chain 1. I'm going to join to the top of that chain 3, and then we're going to chain 4. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. And now what we're going to do for row 3 is we're going to skip the next stitch, whether it's a chain or a double crochet, and double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. We'll skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. Skip the next, double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. Skip the next, double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1, and repeat all the way around. Double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch. And repeat this, working all the way around for row 3. So I completed that, working all the way around. Double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. You should have 18 sets. We're going to join to the third chain of our beginning chain 4 with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1. All right, now you should notice that it's starting to curl a little bit, and I also pushed it up. Okay, it looked kind of like this, and so I just pushed it so that the front side is facing out. Now for row 4, we're going to do a row of single crochets, stitching in the back loops only. And if you look, you can see there are 2 sets of loops on our work. The loop here on this side is your front loops. They're facing you. The loops on the back side are your back loops. We're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working in the back loops only. All right, so we'll go right in this first stitch in the back loop and stitch a single crochet. Whether it's a chain or a double crochet, we're stitching 1 single crochet in each, working in the back loops only. And you'll know that you're doing it right is when you look at your row, there is a line right here of those loops that we didn't stitch in. All right, so for row 4, we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around, working in the back loops only. So I've stitched 1 single crochet in each of my stitches around, working in the back loops only. And again, you'll see that line down here where we didn't stitch in those front loops. All right, now we're going to join to the first single crochet. If you join to the chain 1, you'll add an extra stitch, and we don't want that. So we'll join to our first single crochet, and chain 4. And now the bottom of our bag is complete, and we're going to start the sides working our way up. So our chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch and stitch double crochet, chain 1. And then we'll skip the next, double crochet in the next, chain 1. And this is our repeat for our row 5 in order to begin our mesh stitches to work up the sides of our bag. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, whoops, there we go. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next. We'll repeat this all the way around, and again we'll join back to our third chain of our beginning chain 4. I repeated this all the way around, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and now I'm going to join to the third chain of my beginning chain 4. I'm going to chain 4. Now I'm going to stitch my double crochet in the double crochet and chain 1. Double crochet in the double crochet and chain 1. And see, we're skipping that chain in between and not placing a stitch there. And this is what forms that mesh for our bag. Double crochet in the next double crochet and chain 1. Double crochet in the next double crochet and chain 1. And again, we'll repeat this all the way around and join back to the third chain. So I stitched double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 in order to make that mesh fabric for the sides of our bag. I joined to the fourth chain and chained 4. And so what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repeat row 6 for 9 more rows. That's going to get you the 10-inch tall bag. If you want your bag to be taller, maybe you got a lot of socks, you can make your bag as long as you would like it. But for the pattern that I have written, you need to repeat row 6, which is this row, for 9 more rows. So here is my original bag that I did with this beautiful flower variegated yarn. And I did those additional 9 rows. And so you can see this is about 10 inches. If you want it longer, like I said, just go ahead and make as many rows as you want to. Once it is long as you want, we'll just clip that off, weave that in. I should say tie that off and then weave that in. I didn't add any trim to the top or anything fancy. You certainly can if you want to, but I just need a bag to put my dirty socks in. I still like it to be pretty though. All right, so I'm just going to weave this in, and then I'm going to show you how to make that drawstring really easy so you can gather up the top and not lose any of your socks. So to make your drawstring, you're just going to grab whatever yarn that you're using, and it could be something in a contrasting color. Make your slip knot and just chain 50 chains. So here's the drawstring that I made, and of course if you want it longer, maybe you want to drape it over your arm, you can make your drawstring longer. If you want it shorter, make it shorter. It's totally up to you. Make sure you put a knot in the end of each end of your chain because you don't want your chain to come undone. And push that knot up to the end, right on the end of where your chain begins and ends. All right, so now we're going to take our bag, and what I do, I like mine to draw over on the side, but if you like it to draw on the front, you can do it that way also. So I take my crochet hook, whoops, and I put it through every 2 backwards, like this. All right, so I'll do a few like that. I'll grab that and I'll just pull it through. And then I'll continue to do that. And I think that's the easiest way to get a drawstring through, is to put that hook through backwards. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two ends and I'm going to tie them, but I'm going to tie them up just a little bit higher than the ends. I'm going to give them a good hard pull, and then I'm going to cut both those strings, and that's why that knot at the end of those ties, the end of those chains, was important. So now I can just put my socks in and draw that up and toss that into the wash or into my laundry bag or put it back in my suitcase. Isn't that a fun little bag?